Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. George.
How you doing this morning?
I'm I'm okay. It's been a bit of a rough week.
Has it really been? Okay.
Mhm.
We can certainly talk about that. Before we go into that, any thoughts about our last counseling session? I know we talked about a couple of things there. Any thoughts about that?
Um, well, that's like some of what we talked about is kind of what made it a bit of a rough week, actually.
Okay.
Um, so I ended up um like I ended up kind of talking to Kai about how he would, I talked to you about how I needed to tell my foster family that I needed to take things a little bit slow and stuff and just try to figure that out. So I talked to Kai about how he would say that to someone without, making it sound like you had cold feet or something. And so he sort of let me practice with him on how to say that. And then I told them, and then they were really understanding about that. So that was good. Um but this just all week I've been thinking about just my biological parents a lot and everything, and I don't know, I've just been really missing my mom,
Hmm.
and it's just this weird I'm really really angry at them, but at the same time I really miss them, um and I don't know, while I've been thinking about them and stuff, I keep having all these memories of them that are really good, you know? Like my mom used to read to me before bed, and um and we used to do little crafts together and sing together, and my dad used to play with me a lot and take me to parks and things, and I just the more I remember and the more I think about it, I sit there and I go, if everything was so going so well, and if we were so happy, then why did everything fall apart? And and it's just been kind of really really just on my mind constantly all week. And um every time I'm not doing something, it's what I think about, and the more I think about it, the more I just get angry, and then I miss them, and then I just have so many questions that keep popping up. And it's just made for a really long week.
Yeah. So it's been a mixture of just some joyful thoughts and some very, very sad thoughts. And this is kind of new for you because you haven't really explored that until you met with your foster family. But then that seems to have opened up this whole area. And we talked about maybe slowing things down. But it's kind of hard to stop the feelings and the emotions, isn't it? All right, so tell me, how are you dealing with the thoughts and with the emotions? How are you handling that? Particularly, you're still going to classes, right? All right, so when you feel overwhelmed and you're flooded with these feelings, how are you handling that as you're going to class and functioning?
Um, I've just been crying a lot recently, and I don't know. I started after classes and stuff. Um, I've just been telling Lauren that I kind of need time to myself, and I've just been spending a lot more time by myself. And just, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, because when I do spend time by myself, I think about it more.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I don't think I should just try to keep myself so busy that I don't think about it at all. And
yeah,
so I don't know, I've just sort of been almost in this, like, just stand still. And, like, I don't really know where to go with any of it.
Well, these are all new emotions that you haven't really felt for a long time. So you said you shared this with Kai? And you shared this with Lauren? Something you may want to think about. You don't have to make a decision now. But I just want you to think about it. You're pretty good at writing. Are you still writing? Are you still writing your stories? Good. Sam and everybody else, good. I think that's a great. Does that help? And I gather that kind of helps you when you have a lot of things going on. It's good to write those things down. Just think about this. I'm not saying you need to. It sounds like you trust Kai. Is that correct? And it also sounds like you trust Lauren.
Yeah.
All right. So there you have a male and you have a female. What are your thoughts about maybe practicing? It looks like you've been practicing with Kai. What are your thoughts about maybe writing a letter to your biological parents that you don't have to mail, but maybe write one to your dad, write one to your mom, and then maybe think about reading it to Kai and read another one to Lauren. They probably do it together or however you want to do that. Now, it's going to bring up a lot of strong emotions. I don't want you feeling overwhelmed. I think sometimes you get overwhelmed with that. But I think that may be a good exercise to kind of write them, dear mom and dear dad, and then read it to Lauren as your mom and Kai as your dad, if they're willing. So, as I'm saying that, what are your thoughts? What feelings are you experiencing? What are your thoughts about that?
I don't know what I'd even, like, say right now. Even if they were, like, standing here, I don't know, I feel just like I have so many questions, but I don't know where I would start and how I would start something like that or a conversation and what I would say to them. And I mean, like, I want to be able to, like, tell them how angry I am and stuff, but at the same time, I, like, if I did find them again or I did reach out to them or something, I don't want to, like, start off a conversation that way.
Right.
But then, I also, like, I don't know, I want answers to questions, but I don't know how to ask them, and it also seems kind of scary to ask them, because, like, I don't know, other people in my life, when they left and stuff, sometimes it wasn't by choice, and they didn't have any control over it, but, my parents just, like, left, and so I'm kind of afraid of what they might say if I find them.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of unknowns, and you're right. We just don't know. I mean, it's been such a long time. You don't even know where they are, what they may be going through. There's a lot of unknowns. So, Samantha, as you're thinking about this, what things do you have control over? What things do you feel that you do that you can control as you're thinking about this?
I mean, I can, like, choose whether or not to reach out to them or try to find them. I mean, I feel like I don't really have a lot of control over the way I feel about them right now. 'Cause, like, I don't want to be mad at them. And there's even part of me that just wants to, like, kind of forget them and just go on with my life, because now I have my foster family back and stuff, and I have all my friends, but I don't know how to like take that step and move on.
And it may take some time for you before you think about it. And I suggest, I like what your idea was last week. Just slow down. You're dealing with a lot, and I think in time you'll come to the right decision about what to do. But Samantha, I'm glad you're allowing yourself to feel this. There's a time when you wouldn't feel stuff and you would just black out. Remember you talked about that?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is like even just sort of slowing down and then being able to think about it and stuff. But I need a way to like not feel as overwhelmed, because of it I've been sort of avoiding my friends a little bit this week, because like I just haven't had the energy to go hang out with them and to do anything else. And I'm worried that it's like gonna turn into the whole thing with Lauren, and that like I'm gonna start struggling at school again and just kind of shutting myself off from everyone.
Okay. And let me ask, you've been to a doctor before, right? Okay, when's the last time you visit with your doctor?
Not since I ended up being released from the hospital.
Are you scheduled to see your doctor again?
Not anytime soon. He said that I should probably like check in at least every like 4 months or so. And like no longer than that. So I still have a couple of months before I'm scheduled to see him.
And that's your psychiatrist, is that correct? Do you have a regular doctor, a primary care physician? Okay, and when's the last time you seen that person?
About 6 months ago.
6 months ago. All right. Are you due for a regular checkup soon?
I usually only do them like every year.
The reason I'm asking, you're going through a lot right now, and you're right. You don't want to sabotage your schoolwork and your friends. You made so much progress since being released. What do you think about calling your doctor and just talk about how you're feeling? You don't need to go into what's going on emotionally, but maybe they can take another look and see how things are going for you. Maybe how you're sleeping, how you're eating. If you're dealing with any slight depression, then maybe something that is it a male or female doctor?
Well, my primary physician's a female, but my psychiatrist is a male.
So maybe she will be able to get you something to help you sleep. Or are you having? So tell me, so this week, how's your sleeping been?
I mean, it's been hard to go to sleep because, like, I'll lay down to go to bed and then, my brain just, like, won't shut up.
Won't shut up, yeah.
And there's just, like, so much going on. And then when I do sleep, I just wake up really, really tired.
What are your thoughts about talking to your doctor about how you're sleeping? How do you feel about that?
So, like, back when I was in the hospital for a bit and stuff, I was having trouble sleeping then too, and she had given me like some sort of sleeping pills, something to help me sleep and stuff, and that helped a lot, but it always like kind of made me really just like slow and dragging the next day. And when I was in the hospital for that time, that was kind of fine because I wasn't doing a lot. But now, like, I don't know, I can't do something like that again because like I have school and stuff.
So you may want to think about maybe seeing your doctor and just talk about how you're feeling. And I like the way you explain it. So you're taking care of yourself. You're saying what can work, what cannot work. So just want to make sure you're doing okay physically, because again, you're going through a lot. So what else? What else has helped you when you felt overwhelmed? And you've done some things that have helped. So let's think. What else has helped you when you felt overwhelmed? When you felt very tearful? When you didn't want to go out? What has helped you in the past?
Well, writing it in my stories helps.
Okay. So tell me about that. So how's your writing going?
So, I've kind of been writing more about Sam and her stories and stuff.
Sam. I haven't heard about Sam for a while. So what's going on with Sam?
Well, so, I was writing about Sam when, like, I was feeling really nervous about going down to see my foster family for the first time in so many years, and just kind of trying to, like, maybe get some courage from what she would do.
Yeah.
And everything. And then, here recently when I've been writing about Sam, it's been a little harder because she had sort of such a different life and she didn't really have any of these problems with like her parents and stuff. And so, I've had a lot of times where I'll sit and I'll be trying to write about it, and like I just can't figure out how to kind of move on with the story or anything, because it just doesn't seem to fit very well.
So you kind of stuck with your character, Sam? Are there any other characters that you write about in your story?
I mean, Sam has a best friend that was kind of based off of Lauren when I started writing about her.
Oh my God, I've not heard about that. And so tell me about this best friend.
So her best friend is Angelica.
Angelica.
And she's like, so Sam's like really kind of rough, and she doesn't really care about what she says to people and stuff as long as it's like what's good for her and everything. And so sometimes she comes across as being really mean, but Angelica's kind of like a nicer side to Sam, and kind of completes her in that way, because she corrects Sam when she's being just really too mean to someone or too blunt. And she's like the really, really like nice person who Sam kind of protects a little bit, but at the same time she's like, she can kind of hold her own too when Sam's not there.
Wow, I've not heard about Angelica. What a fascinating story. You're very creative. So tell me a little bit more about Angelica. Like, how old is she? How old is the character? When did she start coming into your mind to start writing? This is very fascinating. And tell me a little bit more about her.
So she's kind of like, she's grown with Sam, but I started writing about her more in high school.
High school, okay.
Because that was like a time for me that I really felt kind of alone, and I didn't have a lot of friends and stuff. And so I ended up sort of writing like a best friend in my stories for Sam, and sort of, a friend that I would have wanted to have in high school. So she came in when she and Sam were about 15.
15, wow.
And now, they're like about 21.
You've really been working on these stories. Just pretty fascinating. So, So we met Sam, your character, and she kind of says what needs to be said, but she comes across as a protector. I get this idea that your character is a protector. She wants to make sure that everyone is safe, and I get that. And so we all need protecting every now and then. And she'll do the tough stuff. But then you have Angelica. So Angelica is Sam's friend, and what Angelica does is help Sam kind of balance her out.
And like, I don't know, like when I've been trying to write some of just everything that's been happening recently in my stories, like, I've even sort of sat there and gone, well, like, just what would Sam do in this situation, or what would Sam say, and just sort of trying to find that. And Sam's kind of crazy sometimes, and I think she would just like go find them, and she would just tell them everything that was on her mind and everything she felt about them, and she wouldn't care how they felt about it, or if it sounded mean or hurtful or anything. And she's just kind of like that person who's like, you made choices, and so now you gotta live with them, and kind of a thing. And I don't know, like, at the same time, there's part of me that wants to be kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I also, I also don't want to say something that would hurt them or something.
So your character, Angelica, what would she advise?
I mean, she'd probably tell Sam to, like, just chill for a minute and to just, like, slow down, right? And she'd be like, you know what, like, people, everyone makes mistakes and does stuff, and, like, as much as maybe they deserve it and deserve the things that you wanted to say, like, there's just the right way to say things.
She sounds like a wonderful character. It's amazing how you, Samantha, how you created these characters. It's almost as if if I went to a theater and you're the director, I would love to see these characters on the stage, see how they interact. You may want to think about that. I think you're very creative. You may want to, I don't know, create a play. I don't know. It's a gift. And what's nice about it is that these characters that you create, they kind of help you deal with what you're dealing with right now. In terms, they're like a conscience. Is it? Would you say that's what they're like? They kind of speak to you and kind of give you some guidance.
Kind of, and like, they're more like, when I'm trying to get something off my chest and everything, but like I don't have the courage to actually say it to people and stuff. It's like a way for me to get rid of it, but not have to go say it to people, that I was gonna say it to or something.
I think that's
And
great.
so, like, I don't know, it's like sort of a place to put like a lot of my stress and stuff.
So you've been doing that this week. Then you find yourself doing more writing this week.
I mean, I've been trying to write. I just like, as much as I know how like my characters would react in this situation, I haven't really found a way to write it into their story because of the way their story goes.
Sure. So what else has helped you this week? I know that there's a strong feeling to kind of dive kind of into yourself and to kind of pull away from the good things that you're doing. So what else has helped you besides writing that's positive?
I've been taking Zeus on a lot of walks.
I was waiting for you to talk about Zeus. I was just waiting to hear about Zeus. All right, so then let's hear about Zeus. So how's Zeus helping out?
You know, so like Zeus, of course, he still wants to go on all of his walks all the time and like go play with the other dogs at the park and stuff. And so, you know, like there's been times that I've wanted to just sort of sit at home and not do anything, and he'll like come over to the couch and stuff with his leash, and he just looks like so sad about not going out. And so then like, even though I don't really feel like taking him out, I feel bad for him because he's been at home all day when I'm at school and stuff. And so I'll take him on a walk, and then like that's really helped, just like getting outside and not sitting at home. And like, even though I don't want to go from the start, like once I get out and I start walking with him, then then it's like, it's really nice, and I kind of get to just play with him, and it takes my mind off of everything for a bit.
I think that is just wonderful. I like your dog, Zeus. What a great, especially when you told me that story about him being on your bed. And let me see if I remember. And you woke up and you were talking to him. Is that what was going on? You guys were, there was like a conversation taking place?
Well, because like, that was when I was so nervous about my foster family and everything.
Yeah.
And I like just couldn't sleep. Kind of like now, like
right.
I was laying there and trying to go to sleep, and because I was just thinking about like everything that could go wrong and stuff.
Sure.
And so finally I just sat up, and Zeus sleeps on my bed with me. And so I just started talking to him about all that. And like kind of like I told you, but he looked like just so bored and done with me because it was so late at night.
But even when he's bored, he still listens, right?
He does, yeah. And that's why I also, have to take him on walks and stuff, is because, like, he always sits there and listens to me, and, like, whenever I'm sad, he's always there for me and stuff. And so, like, it wouldn't be fair to make him do all of that and then not, like, take him out for the things he enjoys.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, our time is almost there, so just so we can wrap up, good job on your writing and your character, Angelica and Sam, and how they balance each other out. I think that's really good. Hopefully you'll get unstuck there, and somehow those characters will speak to what's going on. That's very creative. I think your imagination helps you. And Zeus, what a great guy. And for him being there and you needing to care for him, and he cares for you. And then for your friends, having them available. It sounds like you really have some good folks and good people and good characters in your life. Anything else that you're needing before we end our session?
Like, kind of, just what you were saying, like, because I do have so many really good people in my life and stuff. And that's why, like, I don't want, like, my parents weren't there for me at all.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to, like, mess that up, because I do have all these people in my life who do care about me and stuff. And so, like, that's where I'm kind of stuck on what to do. Like, I don't want to get so involved in this and, like, so bent on, like, finding them and stuff that I mess up everything that I have.
Okay, good. I'm confident that you'll find a good solution to work all these things out. It may take a little time, but I like the idea of slowing it down. You don't have to do it all today, and work with what you have around you. So we'll keep that in mind. We'll keep talking about what we can do to kind of balance that out, to get those things met. All right?
Okay.